Joining me now is retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. He's now a senior fellow at Defense Priorities. Lieutenant Colonel Davis, there are only a few people in the media actually raising any questions about the practical reality here. Politico's defense reporter recently asked on Twitter, who are the Ukrainian pilots that will fly them? Do we know their capabilities? I ask you, do we know that answer tonight?
Yeah, but we don't, and there's so many questions we don't know, and man, I just agreed with virtually everything you just said. You just laid the situation out so clearly, but I would just add on a couple of issues which it really highlights even more why this is not such a good idea. Vladimir Putin not just might view this in a negative way, but he has expressly said, Vladimir Putin himself, that if any nation sends fighter jets into the airspace of Ukraine and attacks, and those jets attack Russian soldiers, he'll consider that country to be a participant in the war and will react appropriately or properly and may even attack that airfield. I think that's the reason why you saw Poland, when they were talking about sending these things over, said, okay, how about we send them over to Ramstein Air Base in Germany and you guys can figure out how to get them there, because they don't want their airfield attacked, justifiably so, because anything that does that, possibility of triggering the Article 5, and then now all of a sudden you may have a war with the United States and Russia, NATO and Russia, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing in providing these MiGs that is worth the possibility that the United States could then be in war, and now that instead of just the tragedy in Ukraine that you described so well, now that it may be in Warsaw or in Slovakia or, God forbid, a nuclear strike in the United States. Nothing is worth that.
Now, there's actually an American who owns a MiG-19 or MiG-29. Is it 29 or 19? I thought it was 29. Maybe it's 19.
29.
Here's what he told NBC News. Jared Isaacman, a billionaire and an astronaut, may be the only individual to own a MiG-29. He said the Russians could eliminate the jets from the battlefield in a single shot. There are Russian fighters that could see those MiG-29s from 3 times farther away. Again, Lieutenant Colonel, you're the expert here, but that seems like a big deal, or am I wrong?
That's exactly right. I was even thinking on the practical, even if they came from Ramstein, you know that Russia's anti-aircraft capability is going to be watching. All their radars are going to be pointing there. They're going to be looking for it. Those things might get shot down before they ever even land in Ukrainian airspace or on our airfield. As soon as they get in there, they will be a target. And that's the reason why you have this rather large fleet of Ukrainian fighters right now that aren't getting in the air. 5 to 10 per day, as you just mentioned there a second ago, because they know they can't get them up. So what is 20 more aircraft that you can't fly? How's that going to help anybody? So you have this huge risk that it could expand the war, and then on the other side, there's very little possible tactical upside, and it's just not a good idea. It's not smart, and we shouldn't do it.
Well, someone like a Mitt Romney, perhaps, or Mike McCall might say, well, you're playing into Putin's hands by analyzing it this way. You're allowing him to call every tune. He bluffs, he puffs his chest out, and America withers on the world scene, and that just emboldens the Chinese to do what the Chinese are going to do with Taiwan. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, I say, you know what? This is actually looking at reality. But you can't make policies based on what you wish was true, based on what we hope would be the case. We would like to have Ukraine have these jets and that they make a difference. The reality is, as you're talking from these experts, they're telling you it's not going to make a difference, and it is going to add a risk. I don't care anything about what Putin thinks or what he threatens or anything else. If it doesn't have if it's not based on reality that's going to help the United States. I'm all about taking risks, and I did it in combat, and I would advocate the United States doing it if it made sense and it had a good chance of success. This doesn't.
Well, and also, we didn't even get to tonight whether it actually enhances America's security. That's another, that kind of isn't even discussed at all. But Lieutenant Colonel Davis, a very important conversation tonight. Actually asking the questions, many of which were not asked the last time we got going on a war in 2003, but we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.